Hey everybody, this is Roberto Blake of RobertoBlake.com helping you create something awesome today. So in today's video, we're going to talk about DSLR video and we're going to talk about shooting in manual mode. Now I know the prospect of shooting in manual mode could be really scary, especially if you're a new DSLR shooter, but it's absolutely super important and I'm going to talk about why you need to be doing it and some tips to help you get started in DSLR video when shooting in manual. So first off, let's talk about why it's important. Shooting in manual is crucial to being able to control the look and feel of your videos. Everything from the aperture that's going to allow you to get the nice drop off in your background and the soft bokeh feel, to the amount of sharpness in your foreground for your subject, such as a person like myself, to the ability to control the lighting in low light situations when you're indoor and outdoor, and as well as making sure that your film is smooth regardless of your shooting conditions, whether you're shooting 24 frames per second or if you want to shoot action at 60 frames per second. Shooting in manual mode is crucial to allow you to adjust your shutter speed and compensate for those situations. When you're shooting DSLR photography, it's fine to go ahead and shoot an auto or an aperture or shutter speed priority to help you in different situations. It's also fine to go ahead and do white balancing during that in the auto mode. But when you're working with DSLR video, you absolutely want to control all these things because video, unlike those still images, has to be consistent all the way through. If you have your white balance set to auto and anything changes in your lighting conditions due to a fan running and augmenting the shadows, or you moving back and forth and adjusting the light in that way, it can end up distorting your video in terms of the ability for it to feel consistent and to feel smooth to the person watching it. So that's going to be a real turnoff. The same thing with being able to control different aspects like your ISO. If your ISO is in auto, it's affecting the exposure. That means that things can get very light or very dark without you intending to. It's better to go ahead and lock that in and be consistent, and you're going to do that through the manual mode. So that's something you want to be aware of. When working with DSLR video, shutter speed has an important relationship to frame rate. You always want the shutter speed to about be double the frame rate of your videos. For example, if you're shooting 24p like I do because I like a film look for my videos, then you'll want to shoot at 1/50th of a second, and that's going to allow you to have 50 instead of 24. So it's going to be about double. That's what you're going to want. If you're shooting action though, and you're shooting 60 frames per second, you'll want to use 1/125, and that's going to allow you to have smooth, consistent video. There are a lot of technical reasons why this is true, but understand that it works and you're just going to get smoother video with better action and range of motion when you're doing that, and you're going to have the appropriate amount of blur and your videos aren't going to look choppy. If you've ever wondered why my videos look so smooth, this is part of the reason. Finally, let's revisit aperture again. In these videos, because I like to show the equipment on my desk in the foreground, I shoot with an aperture of somewhere between f4 and f5 in most cases. What this does is it lets me keep all of these things in focus so you can see my cool desktop backgrounds, you can see the equipment that I'm using on my desk, and it just sets it up the way that I want. But if I were shooting outdoors, I might use something like my 50mm prime or my 35mm prime and shoot at f2 or f2.8 so that I could drop off a distracting background like the woods or traffic or what have you. So being able to control that is something you're going to do in the manual mode. If you use any of the auto or the preset modes, you're not going to be able to control the look and aspects of your video that are so important to a consistent experience. And that's why you need to be shooting in manual. I know that can be a challenge, so I've done a breakdown that is more geared toward photography in terms of exploring the exposure triangle, but I'm going to do that in the specific context of video coming up shortly. But you can still watch the videos where I explain aperture, ISO, and shutter speed, and it will help you get a grasp of how these things can affect your videos or your photos in general. And if you understand the exposure triangle in photography, it's going to be very easy for you to transition into shooting manually with video. You'll just have to follow the basic things that I outlined earlier in the video here, and you'll be okay to shoot in manual when doing your videos. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this walkthrough on shooting DSLR video in manual mode. If you still have questions about that, leave them in the comment section below. Also, let me know if there are other tutorials you want me to do for DSLR video and photography, and I'll try and get those done for you. Anyway, like this video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. Check out the other awesome content on the channel. As always, you guys, thanks so much for watching, and don't forget, create something awesome today.